Welcome back to another episode of Highway Spec. We're going to do things differently this time. Let's find out what's going on. I have hosted a podcast called Highway Spec Hot Takes, which originally was supposed to be just that, hot takes. Ended up kind of becoming a news thing. I know, it wasn't what it was supposed to be, but we're bringing it back. We are going back to the hot takes, and this is mine. Dodge recently announced the Demon Challenger 170, which apparently stands for 170 proof alcohol E85. That's what they've been teasing forever of this last call of all the muscle cars. And honestly, I think they could have done more. Now, what I mean by that is they have the opportunity to be the greatest muscle car of all time, and I think they fell short. Yes, it does 0 to 60 in 1.66 seconds, which is crazy fast. It does a quarter mile in 8.9 seconds, which is crazy fast. It makes 1,025 horsepower, which is a lot. But these are all caveats based on drag radials, running E85, perfect conditions, everything. And then you've got a Tesla Model S Plaid, and I hate the comparison between Tesla and other combustion motors, but it stands to reason that that can do that with a full interior every single day, no problem. Do it repeatedly over and over and over and over again. And even Porsche, with some of their 911 turbos, get low 2-second times with something that is stock that can do it repeatedly over and over and over again. And Dodge hyped this up so much. The last of the last calls was originally supposed to debut at SEMA, and if it did debut at SEMA, I honestly think that it would have been more well received, in my opinion. Yes, they're going to sell a bunch of them, but they're also not making it a limited production. They're just going to build as many as they can between July 31st and December 31st when the production run ends. So not only is it not going to be limited in a sense, it is also going to be very limited use. Which brings me to my next point. These are just going to sit around. Nobody's going to drive them. They're just going to collect dust, and I hate that. I hate that Dodge has done that, that they've made this incredible vehicle with so many caveats that really all it does is stoke the ego of all the other last call model owners that all bought into, a trim and badge package, and people will be like, oh, you got the 1,000 horsepower one. They're like, no, it's actually just the 485 horsepower one, but it's part of the last call. So what should have Dodge done? They should have gone even crazier. I think back to the Shelby GT500, the first one that eclipsed 200 miles per hour. I still think of that because that was just so crazy, so unheard of out of a muscle car. Like, that is just crazy and absurd. And then the Charger SRT Hellcat ended up doing that just a few years later. I think looking back in the next year or two, or even the very next model, the electric version of the Challenger, I think it's going to be able to eclipse those numbers no problem. And I think this will go down in history as something that met expectations but never exceeded them. And as a swan song to the gas-powered muscle car, I feel like Dodge could have done more. What do you think? Drop a comment below.